Okay, here we are with My Little Pony, Season 6, Episode 21, Every Little Thing She Does. For a while, this has had me wondering, who is she, and what are the little things that she does? I thought of many speculations, like Fluttershy working with little tiny animals and needing to be shrunken down to their size, or an episode featuring Princess Celestia and all the little things that she does to help run Equestria. When it was revealed that this was about Starlight Glimmer and her stressing out over the friendship lessons that she's not getting done, it started to sound a lot like Lesson 0 all over again. So many episodes in Season 6 have felt like repeats of episodes from previous seasons, but we do bring a few nice little twists that put a fresh new perspective on things. The episode starts out with a sequence similar to Twilight and Trixie's interactions in the episode Magic Duel. Only here, Twilight and Starlight are actually trying to practice magic and trying to get better at magic, and the competition is a lot more friendly and competitive than mean-spirited and destructive and revenge-filled. We see all sorts of nice spells that not only build the idea of what magic is capable of doing in Equestria, but also makes us wish that Starlight Glimmer had been around in previous episodes. I mean, her speed spell and her duplication spell could have been a huge help to Pinkie Pie in Too Many Pinkie Pies, as well as the transmogrification spell, which was greatly improved since the time Twilight turned a frog into an orange while trying to turn apples into oranges, and now a pony who used to struggle and only knew 25 spells when she dueled Trixie, and had to struggle with things like transmogrification and age spells, can turn basically anything into anything else, including creating life and food from ordinary everyday objects. She can make all kinds of shields, and she can teleport all over the place like crazy. And Starlight can match her move for move and best her in some ways, while even being able to fly through levitation and hold her breath underwater, hang upside down like a bat, and so many other things. It's a very fun opening sequence, and when it ends, we see a few more awesome spells from Starlight, and then we roll into the rest of the episode. My one note for these spells is I hope that they're not a use this spell once and never again kind of situation. I hope these useful spells get to be part of Starlight's regular arsenal, and in the future she'll fight some enemy of Equestria and she'll have to use shields and super speed and cloning herself and teleportation and transmogrification and all that other stuff. It makes me wonder, how can someone as overpowered as Starlight be defeated or threatened with defeat by an enemy of Equestria? If the ponies keep getting stronger and stronger every season, that means the enemies have to get stronger and stronger every season. Before you know it, we're gonna be fighting like Cthulhu or something, and Equestria is just gonna be doomed because even the overpowered Starlight Glimmer and the Alatorn Twilight Sparkle won't be powerful enough alone to defeat these crazy overpowered bad guys. It's gonna be like DBZ out there, with every villain being more powerful than the last, and some crazy reason why Starlight can't just super speed and clone and transmogrify and mind control and everything, every villain she comes across. Leads us into the next part of the story, the part that starts to get like Lesson 0, but in some ways is a little bit different. Starlight has to make up her lost time on her friendship lessons and decides that she's going to save time by doing 5 lessons simultaneously while Twilight and Spike are out of castle. Having not been reminded of Twilight's failure of the Wanted It Needed spell, Starlight has no clue that what she's about to do could seriously backfire in a horrible way and get her in a lot of trouble. But that's more for our entertainment than it is for the convenience of her friends, who soon find themselves on the receiving end of a brainwashing where they all end up under hypnotic control and now have to do everything Starlight says in the most literal way possible. Meaning now Starlight has to be extremely clear and extremely specific with what she tells her friends so that they follow her instructions exactly without making mistakes. But since she doesn't know this, of course, mistakes are made in some very hilarious ways. It all piles up on Starlight, and when Twilight comes back, she's in a bit of trouble. Luckily, Twilight's able to reverse the spell, but leaves the ponies feeling hung over. Yes, My Little Pony, the thing that was not willing to show ponies gambling in Las Pegasus or do anything even remotely Sin City related, got to show ponies feeling hung over. But it's okay because alcohol wasn't involved. Still, it was a hilarious bit and a piece that can be seriously taken out of context in someone's totally legit recap of the episodes, or some fan art or parody or mashup or photo edit or whatever. After apologizing to her friends and proving once again that ponies take apologies and accept them very easily and are extremely forgiving and easy to convince, we see Starlight working with each of her friends to do the things that her friendship lessons were ultimately about. She spends time with them and learns to do something that each of her friends enjoys doing, and she learns to have a good time. And in the end, she learns how to relax, and every pony has a nice little laugh about it. I do like the way that when Starlight was apologizing, the ponies who accepted her apology first were the ones who it made sense would accept her apology first. The ones who hesitated to accept her apology and stayed a little cranky for a while were the ones that made sense to be slow to forgive her. This is sort of the way that accepting Thorax should have gone with each of the ponies in the Crystal Empire. A few that took the apology and accepted the friendship very, very easily, and a few that took a few minutes to come around to accepting that friendship. The way this episode ended is the way Times Are Changing should have ended. But the fact that this problem happened at all is something that should have happened earlier in the season. If this episode had aired earlier in the season, we wouldn't have felt like too much time has passed between Trixie's visit and now. If less time had happened between Trixie's visit and now, it would have made perfect sense that Starlight hasn't gotten used to being friends by now. But because so much time has happened between Trixie's visit and this episode, including the times they are changing in Hearthwarming Tale, it seems that in those 2 episodes and the many episodes Starlight wasn't in, she should have had some interaction with learning her friendship lessons, and should have by now not been making this kind of mistake. I really feel the episode order of Season 6 would have benefited a lot from a little rearranging. Throw this episode and Fault of Our Cutie Marks earlier in the season and move Tart Before the Ponies and 28 Pranks Later and The Times They Are a Changeling to the later half of the series. We do get some nice gags in this episode, like Pinkie Pie trying to sing her worst song ever. I mean, this is even worse than You Gotta Care, You Gotta Share quality of worseness, and being told we don't have time for a song. It's a gag that we saw for the first time in Some Pony to Watch Over Me between Scootaloo and Apple Bloom, and then again in Lost Treasure of Griffinstone when Pinkie tried to sing but Dilda wouldn't let her. And once again, a song is cut off before it starts because we don't have time for a song. It's an interesting running gag throughout the series and one that's not repeated too often, so it still works. The large eyes expression on the main 5 as they're brainwashed is almost as creepy as the big smiles of Starlight's village that she used to run. We also got a nice scene of Starlight's bedroom with a picture of the equal symbol being crossed out to signify that Starlight has put that half of her past behind herself and wants to remember that it's better to be unequal than equal. Now, maybe I didn't say that right. Perhaps it's more like it's better to have free will than no free will. There's also in Starlight Glimmer's bedroom a photo of her friend Trixie, just to remind her that she still values this friend enough to hang on to a photo of her. And she has a photo of where her roots came from. The Equist village that she used to run is photographed and framed on her wall. It's nice little background touches that you don't notice at first, but catch on repeat viewings. Throughout this episode, Applejack says multiple catchphrases that come from movies and books and other famous things, quoting one thing after another from pop culture. Normally this would be annoying, but because she says it while hypnotized and through hypnosis forced to talk in a way that's not natural, it works as a gag here, where in other situations, quoting pop culture would quickly feel dated and out of place. This time, the gags worked whether the quotes are recognized or not. This episode even raises a question that we've asked before. Why do these spells exist? Why are they in books? Why are these books in Twilight's library? And why does Twilight know them? And why does Starlight know them? Why haven't these spells been banned from Equestria? I mean, if you can have a reform spell to force Discord to reform, and a wanted needed spell, shouldn't these spells have been hidden away in King Somber's forgotten library or something? Thank you for watching and good night.